Welcome in or welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a reading about Earth's collective consciousness. If you don't know what that means, it just simply means the prominent energy the prominent energy that's affecting the most amount of people right now. Okay. On the realm that we know as Earth. Okay. That's what that means. All right, so let's see what the cards have to say. We got the King of Swords upright, Temperance in reverse, and Three of Rods in reverse. All right, let's see what the Astro Dice have to say, and then we're going to pull some clarifiers so I can get a better idea of what this is talking about. So we have the Sun in Pisces in the first house. Okay, so what I'm getting here is essentially talking about leaders not having patience and trying to force outcomes is causing a lack of structure and foundation and growth. It's causing people to not want to create. So I also pulled this book out, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and I'm going to read from it. So the law of detachment came up, and the law of detachment accelerates the whole process of evolution. When you understand this law, you don't feel compelled to force solutions. When you force solutions on problems, you only create new problems. But when you put your attention on the uncertainty and you witness the uncertainty while you expectantly wait for the solution to emerge out of the chaos and the confusion, then what emerges is something very fabulous and exciting. Excuse me. This state of alertness, your preparedness in the present, in the field of uncertainty, meets with your goal and your intention and allows you to seize the opportunity. What's the opportunity? It's contained within every problem that you have in your life. Every single problem that you have in your life is a seed for an opportunity for some greater benefit. Once you have that perception, you open up to a whole range of possibilities, and this keeps the mystery, the wonder, the excitement, the adventure alive. So, essentially saying, like, something may seem like dire or like you have to control the situation, you have to control the narrative, you have to force people to do things. And this is saying that, like, if you actually just sit back, when something's truly not in your control, it's not in your control. And you can't force other people to do anything. At the end of the day, you really can't. Without consequences, without dire consequences. I've been bringing up this show a lot recently, but like the show Fallout that's on Prime, it's so good. The last episode that I watched was showing, I mean, I don't want to, this is like a spoiler, I guess, but basically the question of control came up where, like, all these wastelanders, like, if we have the power to be able to, like, force them to be civilized, should we, is the question that was brought up. Okay. And at the end of the day, it's like, there's arguments, I guess, for both sides, like with this specific example, but like what's waiting on the other side that wouldn't be if we didn't force control? There's a blessing. And honestly, in my own life, I've seen this play out so many times, and it can be very difficult to, in the moment when you're feeling like the world is on fire, you know, everything's gonna just self-destruct or whatever, it can be super difficult, but having this precursor in mind of like, wait, use the temperance angel, like, wait and see what's waiting for you on the other side. And what's waiting for you on the other side is this formation and building of structures that come from the divine spark of emanation. And without it, you don't get it. And then with the Astro Dice, I feel like it's talking about this because it's saying the sun. So the sun is like, one's joy, but like I'm thinking more like it's trying to shine light on action in the 12th house of enemies. Although it's the first house came up actually. But Pisces is like known for like being like about hidden enemies, and it just made me think of like, you know, if you're feeling like you're up against an enemy, that if your back's up against the wall or something, the hidden enemy is often usually yourself is the point I'm trying to make. It's usually due to self-undoing. That's the hidden enemy. And I think it's saying that too. It's confirming that too. Because like also with the first house, that's the rising. That's your ascendant, which is like your personality and stuff. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the message that we got going on here today. So I asked Spirit, like, what blessings are waiting on the other side if Earth's collective consciousness is able to finally overcome this psychotic need for control going on in the world today. And we got sense of justice, white moon, Libra, sense of justice, harmony, and beauty. And with Selena, white moon blessings, it's typically talking about the blessings you received in this life for things that you did in the past life. But these blessings, I mean, I'm just pulling cards from my deck, so like this isn't your birth chart, obviously. I don't know what your specific like thing is, but so just take it at face value for the situation we're in right now, okay? So, sense of justice, harmony, and beauty. They were a great peacemaker and loyal partner, so they succeeded in partnership and can handle legal matters and contracts due to their excellent skills in this area. So that's the blessing, is being able to succeed in partnerships, legal matters, and contracts, which is a big freaking deal. Okay. So I also pulled from the Diagnostic Alchemical Oracle, and we got false enlightenment, detachment without compassion. So that's the other thing, is like there needs to be a balance with this sitting back energy. You can't just sit back and do nothing every single time, and that's not what I'm saying at all, okay? What I'm saying is, when it comes to a situation where, like, you're literally, like, you're trying to, like, say, for example, you have a employee, okay, and they're not doing their job, but for some reason, this employee, you can't fire them, okay? You're stuck with them forever. And they're not doing their job. So, them not doing their job, you're looking 10 steps ahead, and the job that they need to be doing is like gonna cause a lot of problems if they don't do the job. So you're looking 10 steps ahead, and it's causing you to panic and freak out and be like, oh my God. And then you start screaming at the person, and you're like, do your fucking job. But does the person do their job? No. They're probably gonna not do their job even more than they already weren't doing their job. Okay? So this is saying, like, to detach from the emotions of, like, the worry, the panic, the freaking out about what the future could be due to this thing. It's okay to have, like, so that the word that just came to my mind is contingency. I've talked about this before, but, like, that's, like, the best course of action, instead of in the moment trying to force the thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, grab their hand and force them to, like, do the work? Like, you can't do that, and then they're gonna not even want to do it even more. So, you know, having a contingency, like, okay, first of all, emotionally detaching, okay, and then having a contingency plan where, okay, if this person continues to not do this, what can I do to deal with the repercussions? And by the way, in this scenario, this person's the only person in the whole world that can do the job, okay? So, you know, and then that's where the blessings will come in, though, is, like, that's like seeing the glass half full or whatever. Like, no matter what negative thing that you perceive as negative that is happening, there's always something that could be gained from it at the end of the day. It's just a matter of being able to see that, being able to wait and have the patience to be able to see that. And it can be really hard in the moment, but if we just, you know, do our best to try to keep this in mind and maybe put up some post-it notes or something. I don't know. So I decided to pull from another book that I have. It's called The Emotion Code. And we pulled to How to Ask was where my eyes were drawn. And I'm just going to read from this because I feel like this is... And then the name of the chapter is Releasing Trapped Emotions. Okay. Well, the page starts off with, in addition, cast away any anxiety you may have about this process. Anxiety is a form of fear, and faith and fear cannot coexist. So, how to ask. It is best to, and the fear is a huge part of the lack of patience, because it's a fear of the unknown, a fear of what the repercussions are going to be. It's better to frame things in the form of a statement or a question to illustrate what I mean. Imagine that the trapped emotion is dread. In this case, you could say this trapped emotion is dread, and you would get a yes answer. If you put it in the form of a question and ask, is this trapped emotion dread? You would also get a yes answer. Both of these ways of asking are equivalent, and each form of phrasing will give you the same body response. If you just went down the list and stated the word dread without formatting it as either a statement or a question, you may get a confused answer. The body may sway backward or test weak when you just say dread, even in a situation where dread is the precise emotion that is trapped. If you just throw the word out there, the subconscious mind may not be reading you correctly and may simply respond to the negative energy of the word itself. So this is about, like, identifying what emotions are trapped inside of us that are causing... On the previous page it says, we are giving the trapped emotion a voice and allowing it to be heard in a sense. If we don't do this, the trapped emotion will continue to make its presence felt by creating physical pain and or emotional dysfunction. I need to actually read... I haven't read this book, guys. I need to actually read this book. This is a really good book. This is some good shit. Okay, once the trapped emotion is identified... once you have identified the trapped emotion, congratulations, you have learned a very significant part of the emotion code. You have now been introduced to an entirely different aspect of your awareness, and you're now learning to tap into your own spirit intelligence and ability that will serve you well if you continue to develop it. And then it's talking about finding out, even though you release the trapped emotion, they're recommending that you go back and find out when it originally occurred. Sometimes this leads to surprising revelations about the past. Remember, the subconscious mind knows all there is to know about this trapped emotion, including when it first became trapped in the body. So yeah, if this is resonating as an issue that you're dealing with, definitely check out this book, Dr. Bradley Nelson, The Emotion Code. Yeah, I think that's all we got right now for today. I'm going to probably use this book maybe a little more in some other readings, but we'll see. But yeah, I hope this helped. Feel free to leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I would love to hear them, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.